today's match is going to be the Iron Hands. We've got a nasty little chapter master, thunderhammer swinging, combi melt the gun carrying boy with all the upgrades. Yes, and
yes.
it's many upgrades. Versus the Drukhari, and it's a Realspace raid detachment with a patrol to go alongside. And this guy's got Ancient Evil, Blast Pistol, Husk Blade, and Writ of the Living Muse to reroll those ones in wounding phase. It's going to be a very interesting game. A very small number of heavy-duty shooting nasty Marines versus a large number of hopefully hard-hitting, probably quick-dying Drukhari.
Choppy.
This is going to be super fun. Here we go, folks. We'll be back shortly with the armies. Yes! Friends, here it is, the first 2,000 point Realspace raid that I will get to play, and I will be playing it today against some nasty Space Marines. So I am going to go over this list. I will explain what I've done and why, and I already have contemplated changes, let's say. I haven't even played the game yet. Very excited about this. So this, first off, is the Realspace Detachment. I have a Succubus. She has been upgraded to the Master Succubus. She has, and these are going to be Cursed Blade Wyches. And it's just one squad of 10. They are Blood Brides, of course, and the Succubus. And I've given her the Dancer's Edge Relic, which ignores invul saves on wound rolls of 6. And it's 2 damage. Seems pretty nice. And then I've got, with this group of Wyches, a Shardman Impaler, got 1 set of Hydra Gauntlets, and the Hecatrix has a Power Sword, because those are the models I have, right? Yes. And the Cursed Blade, if you are unfamiliar with them, they will, on saving throws, 6s, will bounce back and do mortal wounds. And I've actually decided to give her the Cursed Blade specific Warlord trait, so on 4 pluses, any saves of 4 pluses will cause mortal wounds to whoever attacked her, which just seems like a lot of fun. May or may not be super useful, but I think it could do about as much damage in both attacking and defending, and I think that's pretty cool. Nextly, I have Prophets of Flesh. What I've decided to do is a little different from the customary way people are building them right now. I have Homunculus. He's going to have the Vexator Mask, also a Master... what do they call him? Master Homunculus, I think, is still the term. So he'll have, I can't remember his Warlord trait off the top of my head. It's not the one that allows him to heal, because that only works on grotesques and monsters, the flat 3 healing. But he will be able to regenerate D3 racks per turn that have been destroyed. Man, I can't think of what it's called. It's all right, so many new things to remember. And I've got 1 squad of 5 Hamoxites. These are the lighter colored ones here in the front. And then I've got a squad of 5 regular old boys back there in the back. So the fun with the Prophets of Flesh is that none of these guys will be able to be wounded on... they're like transhuman unless you shoot at them with a strength 8 or better weapon. So that is what I'm going to try out with them. Holding objectives, being annoying, that's their purpose. Then the big kahuna for this, the Mr. Master Archon here. He is the Warlord. He is the Overlord. He has ancient... Excuse me as I choke on my own spit there. He has Ancient Evil. Loses the drama there. I'm only running 5 Trueborn Warriors with him. There's a Blaster in there. And these guys were painted up by a friend of mine and donated... and there's only 4 of them, so I've got 1 guy that I'm going to have to try to match some paint schemes with in there. So ignore that last guy. He'll be the first one dead. So sorry. But that's that. The Archon will have a Blast Pistol, and he is going to have the... I'm going to say he's going to be running the Writ of the Living Muse, so this is just a Husk Blade. I've been debating whether or not to do the Gin Blade. They are going to be Blackheart. I would like to use Poison Tongue, but I want to try Blackheart first because it's all the hotness. Poison Tongue, I don't have a ton of like poison things. I've got a few poison weapons here and there, a couple of venoms, but it's not enough for me to really want to try that today. I think, and this is my first change, I think in the future I'm going to run a small patrol that is Poison Tongue, just for all the movement shenanigans. But I also have 2 squads of 5 Incubi in here. I have a squad of 5 Mandrakes. I have 2 Venoms, 2 Raiders, an old G Raider over there and a new Raider. Then I have a Ravager with a triple Dark Lance, and I have a Reaper. So that is all the firepower coming out of the Cabal of the Black Heart. Then, of course, everybody in here will benefit from the rerolling a hit, Power from Pain, being advanced 1 from the beginning of the game. Cool shenanigans with that. And then I also have a Patrol. This is a Patrol, Cult of Strife. I have Drazar in here because you can't leave home without him. I've got a Succubus with a Triptych Whip. Yes, I know she cannot have a blast pistol, but this was also given to me by a friend, and it is going to be hard to kit bash her to get the right weapon. Then I have the Wyches, I have the Hellions, and I have the Reavers. There's only 8 of them because that's all I have. 2 Heat Lances. And that is my list. It comes out to 2,000 points on the button. Here we are, we've got the Iron Hands, they have arrived. It is going to be a very, very different sort of armies facing each other today. We'll start over here because I know what these things are. Drop Pod has the Dreadstorm is what it's called.
Dreadwind Missile Pod.
Dreadwind Missile Pod, so no Storm Bolters, the missiles instead. We've got 3 squads of Tactical Marines. There's a Melt-A-Gun in this one. There's a Rocket Launcher or Missile Launcher in this one. And this one, the Sarge.
Flamer and a Sarge with Plasma.
Yep. Then you got Thunderfire Cannon. I know what that is.
This Tech Marine Gunner.
Yeah. You got the company veterans serving as bodyguards.
Sergeant with
that's
Power
this dude.
Fist.
I was going to say, there's a big old Power Fist in there if you couldn't
a bunch of
quite
Power
see.
Swords.
Yeah, so it'll be great. And this is just Dreadnought Central today is what this is. This dude is actually rocking the Plasma Gun.
Yeah, the Plasma
loadout.
Cannonade.
Plasma Cannonade. We're play testing it today, so that's why it's not modeled with it. But he wanted to give it a go because you can buff it with your overcharging up to the strength 8 and flat 3 damage.
Yes.
Which is pretty spicy. So we'll see how that plays out in the game today.
Hellfire Plasma Cannonade.
Hellfire. That's a wicked name. I love it.
Yeah.
Leviathan.
Rocking a Graflux Bombard, the new Graflux Bombard. I don't know if it'll be any use, but it gives him extra damage on anything with a 3-up save. And then he's got a Power Claw.
Yeah, I'm
with
trying
a
to think.
Melt-A-Gun.
We don't have a whole lot of saving in our army, so it might not be. We'll see. That one. What is it? This was the Contemptor. That's a Daredeo. That one's Contemptor.
That's Contemptor with autocannon.
He does have the autocannon.
Power Fist. Or melee weapon, Dreadnought melee with Stormbolter.
And then the good old fashioned, is he a venerable or regular?
He is a venerable, so he's got the venerable perks, the 2-up with his last cannon.
Yes. And
2-up to
ignoring
hit.
on 6s, wounds on 6s. Yes, last cannons and power. So you can see that Justin here has wisely gone with the full melee loadouts, with the one exception being this boy, but that's okay. And then it's a slew of characters. Everybody
so many buffed characters.
Knows to love and hate this guy. Yes, I'm on the hate side. He's on the love side.
Chief Apothecary.
Then you got the Chaplain.
Master of Sanctity buffed.
I don't know.
Chapter Master buffed Captain. Banner Ancient's been buffed. And the Tech Marine is Master of the Forge.
It's ridiculous.
All
the only saving grace in my mind is that he has very few CPs left to play with.
I have only 7 CPs.
See? Unfortunately, I only have 8. So I say all that, but I was like, this is going to be very, very, very interesting. This is running today as a single battalion, so he is going to have saved himself some CPs. He was playtesting this a while back and was running a Vanguard and Patrol and then realized if he just added another, I think you only needed one more tactical squad. Yeah, it was one more squad of TAC Marines and then he could run a battalion and save a bunch more command points. So,
because they took away my scouts.
I mean, that's so sad. So yeah, you've seen the lists now. We will roll off shortly, set up the map. I'll give you a nice little overview of this snowy world that we are going to be playing upon, and we shall return. Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived. The Space Marines, the Iron Hands, the lovely fellows, are here to defend their territory on this snowy planet. Clearly there has been war in the past, as you can tell. We are playing Sweep and Clear. So we have a central objective. The direct assault is the mission-specific secondary, where if you can control that, you get 3. If you control both that one and your opponents, in my case, I want to control this one, it is 5 points at the end of your turn, and he would like to get a hold of that one back there. Although he did not take direct assault.
Took domination.
He took domination because, either way, we're still going to be fighting over things. Speaking of secondaries, here's a quick rundown. While we stand, we fight, domination, and assassinate for Justin. And I have assassinate, herd the prey, because we want to keep stuff out of table quarters. And I think it's cute to run the Drukhari special ones. And I took direct assault. Justin won the roll-off, so he picked the deployment zone that has the taller of the buildings, line of sight blocking. We are playing this big monstrosity as a hill, even though it's hollow, so we're not going to be putting things inside it, just F to the YI. The stacked hills are going to count as obscuring, just so y'all know. We have craters.
We're counting this one as a crater.
Yes, there's a small bit of hill. We're going to count it as a crater, essentially, so you can get to cover, -2 to move over it. I think that's about it. So deployment-wise, we have a bunch of combat-oriented dreadnoughts here in the front. We have a tech marine to support them. We have just a monstrous load of characters and tac marines.
Tac squad with banner ancient apothecary.
Yes.
And here's the command squad with chaplain and captain.
It's dirty, dirty, dirty. Another big old dreadnought. And then the thunderfire cannon. Hiding.
As he should.
As he should. Ever so foolish, though.
And then 10 inside the drop pod.
Like he thinks I can't get to him. Oh yeah, his two other tac squads are in the drop pod, waiting to come down, potentially coming down in turn 1. I'm going to try to use my body to block this incredible sunshine behind me so you can see things a little better on this side. My deployment zone, I got some Hellions over here. I followed Scary, or at least I took his idea, and I 3D printed some little tokens, and I randomly rolled for drugs, so the Hellions are +1 attack and +1 toughness. Very cheeky combination. Got some Cavalite warriors on this side. We've got the Ravager, the Reaper. We have a little squad of regular old racks sitting inside the building and on the objective. We've got a Reaper full of cursed blade witches. Venom number 1 here has Drezar and 5 incubi. Venom number 2 has 5 incubi. This raider has the Cult of Strife witches and the succubus. Sorry, succubus is also with those. So the 11 people transports. I'm so happy. And 6 persons there now. I'm so happy. Yes, I said that twice. Yeah, I'll get a character. You have a character. The Reaver jet bikes. They got +2 to their movement. Huzzah. And +1 attack. Then I've got the Archon clustered in right here. I've got the Hamoxites and Mr. Homunculus with the Vexator mask there. Trying, as you can see, to hide as much as I can behind this big old chunk of a building that we're calling a hill. And then, oh, the Mandrakes. There they are. They forward deployed because they can. And they're sort of hidden with the building, but he's got stuff that can easily move around and get there, including a nasty character that can just fly real far and smash them. So I'm hoping for turn 1, then I can move them a little farther. To safety, yes. But I wanted to use their cool forward deploy because it's cool, and I don't see why not. So that is it, folks. We are here. We have arrived. Justin, could you grab me a dice, and then we can do a roll-off and see who's going to take the first turn on this glorious mission with this wonderful day. It's going to be very exciting. I'll let you roll first, sir, being the guest. As long as you fail to win.
I rolled a 1.
He rolled a 1. That's delightful. Oh, I rolled a 4.
That is more than 1.
Oh, it is more than 1.
Sir,
you are doomed.
I am doomed.
Your fate is sealed. Can't. Nope, not allowed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The rules is you are going to lose. That's my bold prediction, everybody.
Bold prediction.
It's bold prediction time. So we'll be back at the end of the Drukhari, turn 1. The end of the Drukhari turn has come. I moved these dudes around a bit to straggle out and block out his drop pod. Same with the racks. Not a whole lot of movement, but there was some moving going on here. So they're just screening out the drop pod. Ravager showed up over this way. Reaper moved up that way. Over on this side of the building, the racks, the Hamoxites, excuse me, the Archon and the Homunculus have all advanced around to get as far as they could towards that objective. This raider with the Cursed Blade Wyches came over here. The Venoms came out to screen the objective and keep people out of it from, you know, if they charge me, etc. Hellions came over here, just use the regular move, standing on an objective, being obnoxious, you know, for points later on in the game. Doesn't help me yet, but it's going to, I presume. Over here, we had some fun and some shenanigans. My jet bikes moved. They were up there with their plus 2-inch movement. I charged all of the TAC Marines. I charged the Tech Marine, the Leviathan, and I did not charge the Contemptor, but I piled into him. And he heroically remained with his Ancient. What was fun about all of this was I shot the Leviathan down to a single wound remaining with my Reaper and my Ravager. I was very proud of him. So I had 3 guys come in. I used a stratagem from Cult of Strife to reroll all wounds. So my 3 jet bikes that could hit the Leviathan did so. I got 5 wounds. No, I got 6 wounds through from that. It was really amazing. 2 of them were at -2 with the Blade Artist, and then
which ended up killing him.
Those were the ones that killed him. We didn't even roll the other 4. He did not actually explode. We just need a little marker there. So I did that. I was very proud of myself. I did 1 or 2 wounds to the Tech Marine. I don't remember.
1 wound.
It was 1 wound to him. Tech Marine took a wound. I didn't wound anybody else. And then in the fighting back phase, he used Gorgon's Rage on the Tech Marine, who actually killed.
And he actually should have been hitting on 3 ups because I did the defend.
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Oh, that's right, we did. So I don't think it mattered. I don't think he missed any.
There was some plinks with the other guys. Like I rolled so many 1s and 2s.
Yeah,
Didn't matter.
TAC Marines were piddly. Either way, I was left with just enough units left to pass my morale, keep things tied up in combat over here, and that was very nice. I also vected his Gorgon's Rage because that's not a fun stratagem. I don't like his +1 to hit me. That's nasty. So he will have to spend 2 command points in the future to use that. Back to the rest of the turn. This raider advanced. I used the enhanced ether sails to get on the other side of the mess. And then I forgot about my poor little mandrakes back here. They moved up to be able to shoot stuff, and I totally forgot they were back there because I couldn't see them from this side of the table. And all of my poison shots did nothing to the tactical Marines because they're all light cover from the barricade. But that's it. That's the end of the turn. So we are covering lots and lots of ground. We spread out. We are being quite obnoxious as much as possible. I spent 5 of my 9 command points from the beginning of the turn, so I'm down to 4, and I scored 3 points for direct assault. Huzzah, hurrah, because I'm holding the center one. Yeah, so we're going to get hit really hard with the rest of his army.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. I think it will be because we're pretty glass cannony still. So we'll be back after Iron Hands turn 1. The end of the Iron Hands turn 1 is upon us. We had his lovely drop pod land and disembark and do some shoosting into these Hellions. I did spend a command point for lightning fast reactions, and I only lost 1, so it was kind of worth it. And then he failed his charge. Command re-rolled the charge and still failed the charge. So the Hellions hold the objective, which ruined his plans for domination. Everything back here was left untouched because I had tied up a great number of things. Over here, we did get tremor shelled by this guy. That's what the skull is there for. So we got tremor shelled into the racks, so they're only moving 4 inches and have to subtract 2 from any advances or charges. So that was something. Both of my Venoms died. The Venom with Drazar and these Incubi, nobody died getting out. And then this one was killed in combat, which is why these guys here got out into the space vacated by the other Venom. They weren't cheating, and I lost 1 getting out of this Venom. So that was that. The jet bikes, unbelievable. This guy right here, the leader of the jet bikes, is my hero. He survived 3 different characters hitting him, and he has a wound left. Of course, 3 of his friends died. But he's still there, which I was just saying I'd pick him up, and my good Dresden said, no, let's not, so let's roll it out, and he survived with a wound because the chaplain hit with everything and wounded with nothing. Blown away. Okay, over here, yeah, there used to be mandrakes. There are not any mandrakes anymore. Not very surprising. So where we sit at the end of this turn is that I now have a bunch of nasty stuff and a bunch of different table quarters to try to get rid of in order to score Herd the Prey. I did prevent him domination because of my Hellions surviving, so that was pretty cute. And yeah, it's kind of wild. So this is going to be an interesting bit of a fight here. Next turn, I get to do a lot of work, I think. So at the end of turn 1, I will score 3 points for direct assault, and that is it. Nothing else has happened, and I am, yes, down to 2 command points. I spent 1 on lightning fast, and I spent 1. I overwatched with my mandrakes because he charged the captain in first, and I thought if I got super lucky with mortal wounds, it would have been really cute, but I did not. So that's it. We'll be back for Drukhari turn 2 in just a second. Well, folks, Drukhari turn 2 has come to a close. It was a very eventful turn. It took us a little while to play through it. There's a few new rules and lots of dices to roll. Down here, my blood brides, they jumped out of the raider. They came up here, they charged, and got into melee with the Tech Marine and the Thunderfire Cannon and did nothing. No, I take it back. We did a wound on the Tech Marine. But I do now hold the objective, so that's a thing. The raider then decided to charge into this one's the Contemptor, the Tech Marine, and the Apothecary that were all here. And with his chain snares, it's 6 attacks when he's healthy. And I actually killed the Apothecary with him. It was kind of cheeky. No, I didn't kill the Apothecary. What did I do? I did wounds on something with this. I don't know. Anyways, it was a lot of attacks. I did a lot of wounds. Something got hurt. It was great. Yeah. Then the Contemptor took a whole wound. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he took 1 from Drazar, because Drazar is not really meant to kill those. But it was interesting. It was a fun little fight.
And he did 2 wounds back to Drazar.
Yeah, he did 2 wounds back to Drazar, so that was better than nothing. My Incubi killed the Venerable Dreadnought, which then exploded and killed my jet bike. Killed an Incubi. Took a wound off of both of my Raiders. Took another wound off of Drazar. And yeah, the Tactical Marines killed the remaining Incubi that were over here and charged them. But those Incubi also killed an Ancient. And then I think with the help of the Succubus killed... We got rid of 3 characters over here. The Chaplain, Ancient, and the Apothecary was killed with some of Drazar's attacks from his second fight. With his fight twice ability. So that was something. This guy charged into and tagged up the Derideo, did no wounds. So that was cute. Over here, I don't know if your veteran dudes need morale or not, but we killed a few of them. We wounded this captain. The captain killed my witch, who did 4 mortal wounds back, but he ignored all of them because Justin did a stratagem to ignore.
It's easier. A +1 to ignore wounds with the Iron Hands. Nice. And then since he has a Warlord trait, it became even better. Yep.
So all of my efforts at the mortal woundings did no good. But it was still a lot of fun. And then over here, this is kind of funny. These Hellions, they did make their charge. We did do some killing. They hit back and killed a Hellion. So I lost 1 Hellion, and I killed 3 Marines. 1 fled for morale. Poor guy. In shooting, I took some wounds off of this drop pod, but all the rest of my Dark Lances missed or were saved on invul saves.
Pretty disgusting.
Yeah, the blaster from my Trueborn was what took the wounds off the drop pod. It was like, what? I should get something out of all of this, but I did not. So that's it. That's the lay of the land. I did pick up 3 for Assassinate, 2 for Herd the Prey. It's going to be hard to shift this blob down here because of this drop pod, although if my blaster can do what it did again, then maybe it won't be so hard. So I only got 2 for Herd the Prey for keeping my deployment zone empty. That was it. And slowly working my way through that other back corner. Yeah. So everything's kind of engaged in combat, I think, almost.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah. So lots of things happening. That's it. So that is the end of the turn. I did also pick up 15 for primary and direct assault. I got 5 because I hold the center one, and my witches in the back corner back there are objective secured. So I stole that one as well. And actually I hold all the objectives because you don't have objective secured in the back right corner either. So that is it. Yeah, but there's going to be lots of things happening in this next This is only turn 2.
Yeah.
This was a very fast, bloody, combat-oriented game. My Blood Brides have not done the killing I hoped they would do, because none of them got a +1 strength on their combat drugs, which is kind of interesting. So, anywho, that's just a little side note. We'll be back in a minute. Iron Hands, turn 2. We're back. Iron Hands have done what Iron Hands do. Kind of. They were in a bit of a pickle. Kind of stuck in some combat situations. Over here, the Capitan actually didn't get any wounds through on my witches with the 4-up invul saves, but I did lose one to the company champion. Those guys. Veterans, those dudes. And we didn't do, well, we did a wounding in here on them with my witches, but that was it. Over here, this big boy shot and killed the raider, and then his missile salvo went in and killed the incubi. I did not appreciate that. The tax squad got a wound through in the succubus with their pistols and then died. Because she's nasty.
She's super nasty.
Yes. These ladies removed the tech marine, and then the thunderfire cannon followed suit. So that was cute. So we did that. We got another assassinate. The tech marine, it was correct.
Yeah, he
killed
blew up
the raider. He killed it good. Neither of them exploded. Actually, we just put the markers there to remember that they died. Then Drazar took a battering, but he survived it, and then he did actually a bunch of wounds on the contemptor.
Oh yeah,
for a change.
Yeah,
like last turn, he didn't get anything through. This time he did. So that's that. Over here, this was exciting. I lost 4 of my four of my Catalites, but he did not fail his morale. He stuck around, so the blaster lives to blast another day. Then these guys made their big charge and got into my Ravagers, so that's kind of annoying. Then the Hellions over here did killing and just barely killed this guy, because the ignoring wounds thing I keep forgetting, but the Iron Hands, he keeps shrugging lots of stuff that I keep thinking, oh, that's an automatic dead guy, and it's not. So that's that. They did do some wounding in combat, which is kind of funny. I'm down to 2 wounds. I mean, I've lost 2 wounds on this Ravager. Poor guy. And I think that's it. That is the end as we know it for this turn. So, this is very interesting. Here's where we sit as far as points and things. I've kept him from getting any primary or domination. An assassinate, really thought Drazar was going to eat it because he got shot in the face with a contemptor, but he dodged. And punched, but he survived because he's cool like that. So that's it. End of turn number 2. Coming up with turn 3 for the Drukhari. Alright, Drukhari turn 3 has come to a close. I spent my brand new fresh command point for the 1 CP Cruel Deception for my Ravager to fall out of combat and still be able to shoot. Super cool. I love it. He also did the business. He finished off the remaining 4 wounds, I think, the Dreadnought had on it after the Reaper dropped him by like 7 wounds, I think. Then his 3rd Darklance shot came into the drop pod, which was down to 3 wounds after my Hero Blaster hit and wounded and rolled 1 for the damage. I was so sad about that. So we got rid of them. We got rid of the the Dreadnought. I charged in with the Archon, the Incubi, the Triptych Whip went into the Tech Marine and deleted him. This thing is just horrific. Drazar had the honor of finally killing the Contemptor.
Which did explode.
Almost killing Drazar. Killed an Incubi. Took a wound off the Archon in the Triptych Whip bearing Succubus. Oh, and back here, my witches finally got a hold of and strangled, I guess, or killed the Chapter Master. And we did another wound, or did we actually? No, we didn't actually do anything to the
you
champion.
killed one veteran, and then
we killed him with pistol shots, I think. And then combat-wise, wasn't anything else that happened there. So, yeah, that's the lay of the land, folks. It's been violent. It's been bloody. The Hellions have disappointed me because they keep getting lots of wounds, and he keeps saving them and then ignoring them with 6s. And it's just, there should be a lot fewer of these guys here. A Oh well.
Fewer than 4 people, let it be known. There should be fewer than 4 Space Marines left on the board.
Well, yes. I'm salty about it. I feel bad. Sorry. Nah, take it back. But still, it was kind of crazy. So I did get 2 table quarters now that have been purged of the Monkai, the silly guys. For Herd the Prey, I've maxed out Assassinate. Got Direct Assault. So I've got lots and lots of points. And Justin has not a lot left to do things with.
I think I'll get 5 points
for
holding 1 objective.
He'll have 5 points for primary. Huzzah, hurrah! But yeah, that's it. That's the end of turn 3 for the Drukhari. We've had a quick turn. Turn 3 has come and gone. He scored 5 on primary right there. These guys refuse to die. I'm perturbed / impressed with them. So, yeah, we slapped back and forth. Nothing happened. I did get 3 wounds through, but they saved all of them except for 1. And then he shrugged both of the wounds. Good talk. My witches did decide to power up this time. My Chardonnay lady got to swing first. Apparently that's what I've been doing wrong, was saving her for the end. So when she got to swing first, she killed this veteran.
Yep.
And that's it. That's the end of the story. Justin is going to have to leave, but there's also not much he could have done. We would have taken care of these dudes over here in this last turn or 2.
Eventually.
So yeah, so it ended up being, it was a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming and playing.
It was a lot of fun.
These guys ended up being the MVPs for you, which is kind of hilarious.
That corner was the only corner that survived, and they were left all on their own.
It was so dirty. And then for me, I mean, once again, the Triptych Whip succubus it's absurd. Everything she touches dies.
She deletes.
It is awesome. I don't know if I'll random drugs everything.
Very high roller
that's
over there
true.
in the corner. An underappreciated supporter.
Yeah, Mr.
Very high number of shots almost every round.
He had 6, 5, and 6. I had to re-roll the second turn. I had to re-roll his number of shots. But
those deleted vehicles.
I mean, they were picking stuff up. It was pretty crazy. Interestingly enough, the Vexator Mask only got used once. The Archon with his Ancient Evil was only used once, and part of that's my fault for deploying behind this giant piece of terrain, so they couldn't get there very fast. But it was really intriguing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to play. At the end of the game, I did score quite a few points. So yeah, it was 64 to not 64. Yes. So thank you, sir, for coming and playing.
No problem.
It's been lots of fun. We'll catch you on the next one.
Can't forget the MVPs.
Yes. Oh, and also need a shout out, Gamemat.eu for the terrain and the battle mat. So check them out. They make excellent stuff, pre-painted, high quality. The only thing that's not from them would be these rocks and the craters. I did those on my 3D printer. So, but yeah, please check them out. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this battle report. Iron Hands versus the Drukhari.